Ladies and gentlemen, there is a power within you that is greater than any obstacle before you. It is not found in your education, your background, or your circumstances. It is found in the one thing you carry with you from the moment you wake until the moment you sleep: your emotions. Your emotions are the steering wheel of your life. When they are allowed to drift freely, you wander without direction. But when you take hold of them, firmly, consciously, you command your path with unshakable purpose. Understand this truth: nothing has meaning until you assign it meaning. Every setback is simply a moment. Every disappointment is merely an event. The emotional weight you attach to it determines whether it becomes a burden or a breakthrough. You alone choose which one it will be. Great achievement is never born from a chaotic mind. It is born from a mind that has been trained, disciplined to remain calm when storms rise. When others panic, the controlled mind sees opportunity. When others fall apart, the controlled mind builds strength. When others surrender, the controlled mind plans the next move. Remember, the world will try to provoke you. Difficult people will test you. Unexpected events will shake you. But nothing, absolutely nothing, can command your emotions without your permission. The moment you learn to withdraw that permission, you become unstoppable. Mastery of emotion is mastery of destiny. This truth has echoed through every life that has risen from struggle to strength, from confusion to clarity, from limitation to greatness. Emotions are not merely passing feelings, they are forces, silent, powerful, and influential, shaping the decisions you make, the habits you form, and the future you create. When you learn to govern these forces, you stop living as a reactor to life and begin living as the architect of it. Most people move through the world believing their emotions are automatic responses, uncontrollable storms that arrive without warning. They assume anger must explode, fear must paralyze, doubt must weaken, and sadness must linger. But these assumptions are illusions. Emotions are not dictators, they are messengers. They rise to tell you something, but they are never meant to take the throne. The moment you allow an emotion to control your choices, you surrender your destiny to a temporary feeling. The moment you learn to control the feeling, you reclaim the direction of your life. Think of your destiny as a long and winding road. Every choice you make is a turn on that road, and every emotion you allow unchecked is a hand that jerks the wheel. You cannot reach the future you desire when your inner world is in disarray. But when you master the inner world, when you stand calm while others panic, focused while others lose direction, you move forward with intention. Destiny becomes something you design, not something you drift into. Mastery of emotion begins with awareness. You cannot control what you do not recognize. The instant you feel an emotion rising, whether it's anger tightening your chest or fear whispering discouragement into your mind, you must pause. That pause is power. It is the moment where you step out of instinct and into intelligence. It is the moment where emotional chaos loses its grip and your higher self takes command. By observing your emotions without obeying them, you separate yourself from them. You become the driver, not the passenger. Once awareness is established, discipline must follow. Emotional mastery is not achieved in one moment. It is practiced in every moment. When someone insults you, you practice restraint instead of reaction. When frustration surfaces, you practice calm instead of anger. When uncertainty appears, you practice courage instead of retreat. Each time you choose discipline over impulse, you strengthen your ability to govern your inner world. And each time you strengthen that ability, you make your destiny clearer, sharper, and more aligned with your purpose. Life will always present triggers, setbacks, disappointments, unexpected challenges. These are not signs that you have failed. They are opportunities to demonstrate mastery. A person who has conquered emotion becomes unshakable, not because life is easier for them, but because they have developed the internal power to rise above circumstances. They understand that no event has inherent control. The meaning assigned to it comes from within. And when meaning comes from wisdom instead of impulse, destiny bends in your favor. Imagine how much of life changes when emotion is no longer your ruler. Decisions become smarter because they are made from clarity, not chaos. Relationships become stronger because they are guided by understanding, not volatility. Goals become achievable because consistency replaces emotional inconsistency. Your days become more peaceful. Your mind becomes more focused. Your path becomes more intentional. The person who masters emotion begins to operate at a higher level, not just socially or professionally, but internally. Emotional mastery is not suppression. It is transformation. It is taking the raw energy of emotion and directing it toward your purpose. Anger becomes fuel for action. Fear becomes a signal for preparation. Sadness becomes a reminder of what matters. Doubt becomes a challenge to rise. Every emotion, when understood and controlled, becomes an ally instead of an enemy. Your destiny does not unfold by chance. It unfolds by the choices you make and the mindset you maintain. When emotions run free, choices become unstable and destiny becomes uncertain. But when emotions are disciplined, choices become intentional and destiny becomes inevitable. You gain the rare ability to stay steady in a world that is constantly shifting. You become the person who cannot be swayed by opinions, or negativity, because your foundation is built within, not around you. Mastery of emotion is mastery of destiny because it gives you the highest form of power, the power over yourself. When you control yourself, you can shape your habits, direct your energy, and pursue your purpose with unwavering determination. When you control yourself, you elevate your life from survival to creation, and when you control yourself, there is no obstacle, no circumstance, and no individual who can dictate the future you choose to build. Thoughts are the seeds of control, the quiet beginnings from which every action, habit, and destiny grows. Nothing in your life happens without first passing through the mind. Every achievement, every failure, every moment of strength, and every moment of weakness begins as a single thought, planted, nurtured, and allowed to take root. To understand the power of your thoughts is to understand the blueprint of your life. To control your thoughts is to gain authority over everything that follows. A seed is small, nearly invisible, and easily ignored. Yet inside that tiny seed lies the potential for a towering tree, capable of surviving storms and reaching upward. With unstoppable force. Your thoughts are no different. They may appear insignificant at first, a whisper of doubt, a spark of hope, a flash of anger, a moment of determination, but given time and attention, they grow into something larger. The mind does not distinguish between the seeds you plant. If you feed negativity, it becomes a forest of limitations. If you feed possibility, it becomes a landscape of opportunity. You are always planting something, whether you realize it or not. Most people underestimate the influence of a single thought. They assume small worries or small desires don't matter. But every thought sets off a chain reaction. A negative thought left unchecked breeds more negativity, creating an emotional climate that influences your decisions. One moment of doubt can lead to hesitation. Hesitation can lead to inaction, and inaction can lead to regret. On the other hand, one empowering thought can spark confidence, which inspires action, which leads to progress. This is why thoughts are not just fleeting ideas. They are the architects of your inner world. Control begins in the mind long before it manifests in behavior. When you discipline your thoughts, you discipline your life. When your mind is scattered, your actions are scattered. When your mind is focused, your actions become sharp and decisive. Thought control is not about avoiding negativity altogether. It's about refusing to let negativity take root. Everyone experiences fear, doubt, and frustration, but only those who consciously manage their thoughts prevent these emotions from steering their lives. To control your thoughts, you must first become aware of them. Most people entertain destructive thinking without even realizing it. They allow old beliefs, past failures, or external criticism to run freely in the background of their mind, shaping their self-image and limiting their potential. But when you become conscious of each thought, when you pause and observe what is happening within, you regain power. Awareness is like sunlight. It exposes what has been growing in the shadows. Once you see the thought clearly, you can decide whether to nurture it or uproot it. Thoughts must be chosen with intention because the mind is fertile ground. It will grow whatever you plant, whether weeds or wisdom. If your thoughts are fearful, your actions become hesitant. If your thoughts are resentful, your relationships become strained. If your thoughts are small, your life becomes small. But if your thoughts are bold, your actions rise to match them. If your thoughts are disciplined, your emotions follow. If your thoughts are expansive, your world expands with them. Consider the individuals who rise to greatness. They do not possess perfect circumstances or unbroken confidence. What they possess is control over their internal dialogue. When challenges appear, they do not allow fear to dominate their thinking. When failures occur, they do not permit discouragement to become